Hey everyone, and welcome back. You already know how much I love a good food-related deep dive.
Right.
And today's topic is really hitting the spot.
Yeah,
We're talking about the fascinating link between your diet and a healthy smile.
that's right. We often think about brushing and flossing,
Exactly.
but what we put in our bodies plays a huge role in oral health, too.
Absolutely. And, we always love a good listener request. So shout out to today's deep diver for sending in some really compelling research on this topic.
Mhm.
I got to say, even I learned a thing or two prepping for this one.
Yeah, as we dug into the research he shared, one thing that really stood out was the science behind how specific nutrients impact our teeth and gums.
Mm.
It's pretty remarkable.
Okay, so let's unpack this. For those of us who haven't spent much time thinking about this connection, where do we even begin? It's more than just like sugar is bad, right?
You got it. It's about understanding the entire ecosystem in your mouth.
Okay.
Think of it this way. Your mouth is like a microscopic garden, home to all sorts of bacteria. Some good, some not so much.
Okay, so I'm already a little grossed out, but go ahead.
The food we eat acts like fertilizer for this garden.
Okay.
When we consume sugary foods or drinks, we're essentially feeding the bad bacteria, the ones that produce acid as a byproduct of their feast.
And that acid is what's harming our teeth.
Exactly.
Okay.
It eats away at the enamel, the hard, protective outer layer of our teeth, which can eventually lead to cavities.
Making sugary drinks public enemy number one. But what about other types of food? I'm curious to learn more about the good bacteria and how we can give them a boost.
Sure.
What should we be adding to our plates to build a fortress around our pearly whites? So if sugar is feeding the bad guys, what are the dietary superheroes we need to bring to the rescue?
Let's talk about calcium.
Okay.
You probably remember hearing, drink your milk for strong bones and teeth growing up, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. My mom drilled that into me.
Well, it turns out there's a lot of truth to that old adage.
Okay.
One study you sent mentioned that adults over 50 who had a higher daily calcium intake showed a lower risk of developing gum disease later in life.
Wow.
It's like fortifying your defenses from within.
Wow, that's amazing. I never realized the connection was that strong. So dairy is the obvious calcium champion. But what about folks who can't do dairy? Where else can we get this tooth-saving superhero?
You've got options.
Okay.
Leafy green vegetables like kale and spinach are surprisingly good sources, and they're packed with other beneficial nutrients too.
Great.
And don't forget about almonds and sesame seeds, great for snacking and good for your smile.
Okay, so calcium is key.
Right.
What else should we be loading up on? The research you shared mentioned vitamin D playing a critical role too, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Vitamin D acts like calcium's best friend.
Okay.
It helps your body absorb calcium more effectively, ensuring that it gets to where it needs to go, your teeth and bones.
It's like vitamin D is the wingman, making sure calcium has a smooth entry to the party.
I like that analogy. And here's where it gets interesting. We often associate vitamin D with sunlight.
Right.
But did you know fatty fish like salmon and tuna are excellent sources too? Even mushrooms pack a vitamin D punch.
Okay, I did not know about the mushrooms.
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind with these dietary tidbits today.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much we can impact our health just by making conscious food choices.
Precisely.
Okay.
It's about understanding these connections.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to another vital nutrient for oral health.
Okay.
Vitamin C.
Okay. Vitamin C. I know it's good for immunity, but what's its role in a healthy mouth? And since we're already talking about food, spill the details on which foods pack the biggest vitamin C punch for our teeth.
Vitamin C is crucial for healthy gums.
Okay.
It helps to build and repair connective tissue, keeping your gums strong and resilient. Citrus fruits are probably what come to mind first, but be mindful of their acidity.
Right.
While a little orange juice is fine, overdoing it can actually erode enamel over time.
Right. It's all about balance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead, focus on incorporating more broccoli, strawberries, and bell peppers into your diet.
Okay.
They're all fantastic sources of vitamin C, and their lower acidity makes them gentler on your enamel.
So we're talking stir fries, smoothies, colorful salads. This is starting to sound delicious.
It can be.
Yeah.
Taking care of your health doesn't have to be about deprivation.
Okay, so we've covered calcium, vitamin D, vitamin C. What's next on our list of nutritional all-stars for a healthy smile?
Don't underestimate the power of protein.
Okay.
Remember those good bacteria we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
Protein gives them the building blocks they need to thrive and outcompete the bad bacteria
Okay.
Plus, it helps your body repair tissues, including those in your mouth,
Uh-huh.
and contributes to healthy saliva production.
Okay, that makes sense. But I wouldn't have automatically connected protein to saliva.
It's all connected.
Okay.
Adequate protein throughout life ensures healthy saliva flow,
Okay.
which is your mouth's natural defense against those cavity-causing villains we discussed.
Yeah.
Saliva helps to neutralize acids,
Uh,
wash away food particles,
okay.
and even contains special proteins that fight bacteria.
Wow. Saliva is like our mouth's personal bodyguard.
Exactly.
So we're talking lean meats, fish, beans, lentils, all those protein powerhouses, right?
You got it. And don't forget about eggs and dairy products. They're excellent sources of protein, too. Now, we've covered a lot of ground here, but there's one more nutrient I want to touch on.
Okay.
And it's one that often gets overlooked: magnesium.
Oh, magnesium. I know it's supposed to be good for sleep and muscle recovery, but how does it factor into oral health?
Magnesium is like the unsung hero of a healthy smile. It
Hmm.
works hand in hand with calcium and vitamin D to support strong teeth and bones.
Okay.
In fact, magnesium actually helps your body utilize calcium more efficiently.
Wow. So it's like magnesium's the ultimate team player, making everyone around it better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's a fascinating tidbit from the research you provided.
Yeah.
Studies have shown that magnesium can actually help to reduce tooth sensitivity, which can be a real game changer for people who experience that.
Now that's what I call a valuable teammate.
Right.
So where can we find this mighty mineral?
You'll find good amounts of magnesium in foods like spinach, black beans, avocados,
Okay.
and even dark chocolate.
Okay. You had me at dark chocolate. This deep dive is officially getting tastier by the minute.
Yeah.
But seriously, it's amazing how much power our plates have when it comes to oral health.
It really is.
Yeah.
By making conscious choices about the foods we eat,
Yeah.
we're not only nourishing our bodies, but also creating an environment where those good bacteria can flourish and help us maintain a healthy smile for years to come.
Okay, so we've got our shopping list of smile-boosting foods.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about the flip side for a moment. Are there certain things we should be avoiding or limiting to really give our oral health a fighting chance?
Absolutely. While we've focused on the positive, it's equally important to be aware of the dietary villains that can sabotage our efforts. Think of these as the things that throw our oral microbiome out of whack and give those harmful bacteria an edge.
Okay, so spill the tea, or should I say ditch the sugary drinks? What are the top offenders we need to watch out for?
You already mentioned sugary drinks, and those are definitely public enemy number one. They're basically a direct line to feeding those cavity-causing bacteria. But it's not just about soda and juice. Even seemingly harmless things like flavored waters or sports drinks can contain surprisingly high amounts of sugar.
That's a good reminder to always check those labels. What about processed foods? I know they're often loaded with sugar, but is there more to the story when it comes to oral health?
You're right, processed foods often come with a hefty dose of hidden sugars. But it goes beyond that. They tend to be low in nutrients and high in refined carbohydrates, which actually break down into sugar very quickly in your mouth. This creates a feast for the bad bacteria and throws off the balance in your oral microbiome.
So we're talking chips, cookies, white bread, all those tempting treats that seem to find their way into our pantries a little too often.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And while we all indulge occasionally, it's about being mindful of how often and how much. Now, here's something else to consider. Even too much acidic food and drink can be detrimental to your teeth.
Really, I thought acidity was more of a concern for things like heartburn. What's the connection to oral health?
You see, while our stomachs are designed to handle high levels of acidity, our teeth aren't quite as resilient. Constant exposure to acidic foods and drinks can gradually erode enamel, making your teeth more susceptible to cavities and sensitivity.
So even though that squeeze of lemon in my water might seem healthy, it's something to be mindful of. What about things like tomatoes and citrus fruits?
You're on the right track. Those are naturally acidic foods, and they're packed with nutrients, so enjoy them as part of a balanced diet. But like with everything else, moderation is key. And it's a good idea to rinse your mouth with water after consuming acidic foods or drinks to help neutralize the acid and protect your enamel.
This is such valuable information.
Yeah.
It's really making me rethink my own habits and how they might be impacting my oral health.
That's the goal. Knowledge is power, and by understanding these connections, you can make informed choices that support a healthy smile for years to come.
You know, when we started this deep dive, I thought we'd be talking mostly about which foods to eat. It's amazing how interconnected everything is, from the bacteria in our mouths to our overall well-being.
It truly is. And while we've been focusing on diet, let's not forget the importance of good oral hygiene. Brushing twice a day, flossing daily, and regular dental checkups are still non-negotiable.
Absolutely. It's like building a house.
Yeah.
You need strong materials, but you also need a solid foundation and regular maintenance to keep everything in tip-top shape.
That's a great analogy. And here's something else to consider. You mentioned earlier how fascinating you found the link between diet and oral health during pregnancy. Well, research has shown that what a mother eats during pregnancy can actually influence the development of her baby's teeth and jaw.
Wait, really? So even before a child is born, their dietary foundation for a healthy smile is already being laid?
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
It's like setting the stage for a lifetime of good oral health right from the very beginning.
That's incredible. It really highlights how important it is for expectant mothers to be aware of their dietary choices, not just for their own well-being, but for the future health of their children as well.
Exactly. And this extends beyond pregnancy, too. Early childhood nutrition plays a crucial role in ensuring proper tooth development and establishing healthy eating habits that can last a lifetime.
So we're talking about creating a positive food environment for our kids, encouraging them to embrace those smile-boosting foods we discussed earlier.
You got it. It's about making healthy choices together as a family.
I love that. It's about creating a culture of health and well-being that starts right at the dinner table.
And it doesn't have to be complicated. Small changes can make a big difference over time.
So true. So as we wrap up this incredible deep dive into the world of food and healthy smiles, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
If I could leave you with one thought, it's this. Your mouth is a window to your overall health. Pay attention to what you eat, establish good oral hygiene habits, and remember that a healthy smile is a reflection of a healthy body.
Couldn't have said it better myself. This has been such an eye-opening conversation, and I feel like I've gained so much valuable knowledge to apply to my own life.
That's fantastic to hear, and remember, it's a journey, not a destination.
So true. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your expertise.
It was my pleasure.
And to all our amazing deep divers out there, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those smiles shining bright.